think we're here. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to our Black Magical History Quick Quills edition. Or I said that wrong. Black Magical History edition of Quick Quills. There we
Period.
go.
Hi, Z.
Like,
Hi,
that
Oreo
wasn't-
King. We see y'all.
Yeah, how's it
Way to come
going?
through.
Let me add DJ real quick to the stream.
We've got another
Hey,
friend.
DJ.
Hello.
Hey, what do I have to do to see the? Oh, there they are. Never mind. I was like, I can't see the comment. So.
Yeah, we can see the comments, so y'all can chat at us. We'll see them. We'll get them as we go along.
Yeah. Real quick, we're gonna start our first sprint in 4 minutes. So, well, thank you for coming. Hope y'all have stuff to work on, write, create. Drop in the chat what it is that you're working on.
Super curious.
Yeah, I want to know what kind of stuff folks are doing. What about y'all? What are y'all doing?
If y'all have been with us before, you know we've done these quick quills a lot of times, but prior we usually called them writing sprints, but it kind of over time naturally we were just like, some people were writing, some people were creating different things, so you could always create whatever you wanted, but we've officially rebranded it to be a creative sprint. So whatever y'all are working on is fine. I will be writing, but just it's a time to get creative and devote that time to whatever your creative pursuits are.
Yeah, I too will be I'll be editing. I'm cutting words and I have 300 and some change before I hit my goal for the week to cut. So I'm hoping that I can do that in the next hour and a half or so.
I hope you can too.
What are you working on, DJ?
Oh God, what am I working? I'm working on too many things. So I'm hoping that with the first sprint, I'll finish up some day job stuff that I'm doing. But then the other thing that I really need to do is update my website, which has been an ongoing project. So it kind of happens in waves, which if you're here, this is one creative sprint, creative session, whatever, but it's okay if everything doesn't get done today. And I've had to really do stuff in chunks. So I had one day, a week or two ago, when I just went through everything on the site, and I had another day where I was looking at other people's sites and trying to get inspiration. And then I went and outlined the stuff that I need to do. So now is the actual building and just getting things situated. So there will be writing involved. I guess I'm telling a story of self in a way, but not doing my book things that I should be. That's for the next one.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, we have maybe 1 more minute, probably less, until we'll do our first sprint. It'll be 20 minutes, so we'll start kind of chill, and then we'll move up from there. In that time, we'll have some music on, a little cute little art on the screen, and then we'll pop back in and talk about how things are going. Yeah, we haven't done one of these in a minute. I'm you're muted.
Hello, I'm a professional. It's one of my favorite events of Black Magical History Month. I had plans tonight and I was like, we gotta move the plans up because I'm gonna miss it and I don't want to.
Yeah, I was like, let me get home, drive home as quick, get here as quick as we can. Okay, real quick before we hit the timer, Oreo King says that they're working on a children's book and a fantasy thing. They started off with a prompt, so that sounds cool.
We love a prompt.
I like both of those things, a children's book and a fantasy thing. We love fantasy.
Feel free to share the prompt. I'm just curious for my own nosiness.
Yeah.
I saw this week was PB Pitch. I think. And I'm just I've been so removed from like writer Twitter and like all of these things that I'm usually like keyed into and know what's going on. But it was cute to see the pitches that did come across my timeline. And yes, love a children's book always.
Yay. All right, cool. I'm going to start the timer. We have 20 minutes, and then we will check back in at 6:30.
Trying to get pregnant?
That was perfect timing, whatever
Oh
that
my.
commercial was. was like, oh,
First of all, why you in people's business?
Like-
The dang ads. I do my best, but I was trying to like be ready to mute, but I was in my element. Sorry.
Hey y'all. So we have like a good 10 minutes just to check in. That's the end of the first sprint.
Lots of updates in the
yeah,
chat.
yeah. Ooh, okay. Jammy333 is working on an urban fantasy based on Jamaican superstitions, or a fake lover romance, depending on which can get the most words going.
Both sound great.
Both. How about both?
They could be combined into one,
That's what I would like to see, actually.
Romantic superstition, I'm here for it.
I would love to see them both. Z Elliott is designing their journal or branding each life area. So to-do lists are more ADHD friendly, which is tight. We love a to-do list here.
We sure do.
You know,
it's the only thing keeping this neurodivergent brain together, I gotta say. It's duct tape and to-do lists up here.
And Solo Banathan is working on ethics of paraphrasing an annotated bibliography entry that they wrote for a class a few years ago to use in a literature review of their master's thesis, which is we got folks who are doing a lot of doing a lot of great things in here. I love that.
Don't know if my vote means much, but go for it. It's your words. It's with purpose.
So real quick, let's talk about like what are some ways that y'all stay focused? And I'll ask the chat too.
Well, first and foremost, I usually listen to lo-fi on my personal account, which is ad-free. So, that's a good step. If you're gonna have music on, make it no interruptions. Sound like noise canceling headphones are also a very solid thing. I'm very distractible with sounds. Also, notifications off. You got to turn them off. Turn on that do not disturb. Close out of the windows, or go to a whole new desktop if you got to. So.
Or you could tweet the screenshot though.
Yeah, tweet us at, if you have Twitter, at Black Nerds Create. That's BLK Nerds Create. We would love to see it.
Yeah, at BLK Nerds Create, or Instagram too, at Black Nerds Create if you want to put it there.
I've never used a visual prompt. I'm fascinated. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. And like use the hashtag Black Magical History, and then that way we can find it. Yeah. Cool. I guess, DJ, what do you do to stay focused?
DJ's like, do I?
Now Bayana is in my business. No, that's no, also, I'm also a to-do list person, except this has been one of the weeks. Why I'm laughing is because it's been one of the weeks where I just have like 10 loose ones. Like, do y'all see? I don't know where my camera is. This is absurd, right? Like, this is only getting me half of the way. But so yeah, when I am on top of my stuff, a good planner to-do list situation is helpful. Hey Zay, I thought it might be you. My calendar, for sure. So like sometimes even when I can't get the like planner going, I need to have everything like together on my calendar. Sometimes on several calendars that are linked. It's a lot. And honestly, like my workstation matters a lot too, which is funny because it's very cluttered right now, but my clutter is like specific and intent, right? It's like I can put stuff down and it will look cluttered to other people, but for me, it's like, well, it makes sense where it is, and that's fine. But if someone else sat at my desk and left it messy, I'd be like, I can't.
My personal chaos, I can handle. Anything
Yes.
else, I can't.
Exactly.
Makes living with other people a challenge sometimes.
Exactly. But so like I don't have a big workspace right now. You can see the posters in my back for the children's side of the room for their workspace, but making my little corner like functional and having like I've got desktop, laptop, typewriter, for like just everything kind of where I need it. I got a bigger desk. Pro tip, and all that. So yeah, those are my things.
Nice.
Oh, yes to meds, child. I don't know what I was doing before 4 months ago, but it was not thriving. Oh man.
Nah, that's super real. Yeah, I mostly do music too. Like, especially because like I can't really work when people are talking as much. Like I can't focus as well. And I also feel bad if I do zone out because I'm like, what if you were talking to me? You know? So but if I'm like trying to be in the zone, like I'll just put music on. It doesn't have to be like lo-fi. It could be, it depends on my mood. Like rap is fine, honestly. Like I might like dance a little bit, might sing along for a second and then get back into it. But like it's not it doesn't really bother me. But sometimes I also just want to chill. Like it just depends on like the vibes of the day, you know? So yeah. Zay mentioned
Binaural beats.
binaural beats and brown noise.
Brown noise
which
is kind of that girl. I gotta say, I don't use it much, but it just sounds nice. It just makes you feel good. I can't explain it. You just gotta try it.
Yeah, and it definitely has to be like familiar music or audio, or like the noise. It's not, because if it's a song I do not know well, or like am still like
you get caught up
if I'm paying
listening
too much attention to it, then it's counterproductive. So it's gotta
like
be
I had to play Renaissance like about 500 times before I could start working with it.
Yeah, if it's gonna be something with words, it has to be something familiar, else it will distract me. I used to be able to write with words, like that was my thing. I loved curating a playlist and writing to it, like making them match. I can't do that anymore. It has to be typically wordless. So it can be video game music, it can be lo-fi, it can be classical, it could be like a movie soundtrack, but it has to be wordless.
Video game music is so interesting to me because I feel like I would just want to go play the game. Like I feel like it would
that happened for sure. But some of them, like, they're not games I would play over. Like Undertale, oh, that is such a good soundtrack, but it's such a lot. Like it's not a game I would. It's like one of those things you experience the one time and then that's it. Or for me, a lot of people did replay it. Solo says that they're not logged into the account because it's AJ. I knew it was AJ, but I didn't know if you purposefully were logged into a different account. So hello. To not reveal yourself for the mystery of it all. Portia is in the chat and is not in a writing mood, but will draft content plans after she finishes reading. Portia is one of our team members, for those who don't know.
And she doesn't stop reading. So.
She doesn't stop reading. Yeah, I was writing. I might switch actually because I was working on something. I had plans tonight, and before I went out for those plans, I was working on my podcast. It's coming out in May, and I should probably get back into that. plug, except not yet, but stay woke.
Yes, be prepared.
I was pantsing a Zutara thing that I thought of earlier today. I was like, why not? The thought came today, and then I was like, oh, let me just pant it. But honestly, seeing Portia's content plans, I'm like, I should switch. I should do that actually.
That's real. Okay, so it's time for our next sprint. We are gonna go for 25 minutes this time. Yeah.
I'll try and catch the ads, y'all. I usually play it on my personal account, which doesn't have ads. However, StreamYard wasn't having it. It said it has to be in the same window that StreamYard is in. So we're just making do. I'll try and catch them and mute them.
Oh, it's time.
Look at that. Productivity. Imagine.
Who are we? Okay. Does anyone want to share a little sneak peek of what you've done?
I mean, I can't really. I worked on social strategy, or I finished some social strategy for my podcast. It doesn't come out till May, so there's really not much to say.
I mean, that's a sneak peek. You got a new podcast coming out in May.
Period.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
If anyone else wants to share anything, you can drop it in the chat. Let me.
I appreciated AJ like leaving the original task and then going back, which is something that I do often. So
yeah, sometimes you got to bounce around. Often during these sprints or other productivity sprints that I've like taken part in, sometimes you do a little of a lot of things. And that's cool too. You're still being in that space, and that's what's important.
Yeah, sometimes you need time to like just percolate too.
Yeah, if
like
you guys
sometimes like
you couldn't like, see me, but I was really just sitting here for a while just thinking, because that's half the job.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. AJ's okay, my camera's kind of covering it. I will do my best, AJ. Let me get my glasses on because it seems very fancy. Intersectionality has been a theoretical underpinning of much of my experience in Leslie's art therapy program, beginning with Tawor's seminal introduction of the theory to the field. In this work, Tawor discusses the importance of approaching identities intersectionally in art therapy practice. Ew, interesting. By incorporating understandings of cultural variability and subjective truths into their practices, art therapists can work to counter the history the field has of pathologizing difference. I love it. Dang.
Sounds like a banger to me.
I don't know if Biona can share much of a sneak peek. Can you?
Let me try to see if I can find. The thing is that like I'm reading it, but I'm reading it for like on a really granular level right now, so I don't know.
You can read something you cut.
No, because all I've cut have been like words.
Oh, like singular.
It's been like get rid of like had. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's not like
Gotcha.
I haven't really cut like any big things. But okay, hold up. Give me like 2 seconds.
Absolutely, AJ. AJ says, I'm so excited to finally be working on something publishable where I can info dump about intersectionality. Look, more people. You would think it's 2023. Surely we've all heard of this by now. You know, especially like in academia. You know, they're smart over there. However, that is not the case. So I'm excited for you and excited for the work that you're doing.
Yeah. That's super tight. Okay, I found something. Sort of it's not long, but sort of like brief like context. The 2 characters just got like cornered by some people. One of them recognized one of the people and then he got knocked out. So this is from the other person's perspective after he gets knocked out. Yeah. Okay. They trekked through grass and mud. Something creaked. The air turned stale as the ground below her hardened to stone. Their footsteps echoed around them. They were inside. They turned a corner, then another, down a flight of stairs, around another corner. Halima's foot met something soft, a rug. They came to a stop. Had some trouble? Asked a mild voice. Simbar here got a little too excited. I got my penance. Carrying him halfway across the quarter was punishment enough. Take him to Callie. She'll get him set up somewhere comfortable till he wakes up. Footsteps receded. A door shut. The cloth was gently lifted from Halima's eyes. She blinked at the small, cramped office. Papers overflowed on the wooden desk. A few framed pictures sat on a mantle. Before Halima stood a tree of a woman. She was dressed in trousers and suspenders, not unlike Jabari's. Her hair was pulled into 2 crown-like braids tucked at the nape.
This is very exciting. This has been a long
weird
journey.
To read out loud. I like don't do that any like ever. So
well, I can't wait to go to your book signings where you will be reading passages in person.
Oh, yikes.
Once you're published. I love that for me. I'll be catching you in mahogany books in like a year or 2. You just wait.
I guess. I suppose.
If I must.
Reading out loud is really like, I mean, not that I don't do it often. Like, it's not that hard because, you know, we do it for Wizard Team. Plug that podcast. But it's weird when it's your own stuff. So it's fine. DJ, how about you? I know you're like working on work stuff, but I don't know if there's any like
yeah. So yeah, I guess for folks that are like, why is DJ working on work stuff at an unspeakable time? We have a conference this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at my job, and it's really, you know, it's gonna be great. Mostly I like there are a lot of teachers who have worked very hard on this, and I don't want to let them down. I'm almost done though, but okay. I'm looking for like one of the questions that I wrote. because I think that they're fairly good.
Ooh, we got
I'm trying to be
another-
like, how do I get people to like pay me to just ask other people questions?
We have another excerpt. Oh, go ahead. You got it. I was going to read it while you found it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, so anyway, this is an education conference, and we're talking about anti-racist work, culturally responsive pedagogy, all of these things. And so, I say, in hopes of framing the conversation, I'd like to start with a question that I'm sure Dr. Kennedy has been asked often. How do you define anti-racism? And once they have defined it, how would they expand on what it means to do anti-racist work in the education space particularly? Why is it important to utilize a variety of tools, including history, law, science, to help audiences build awareness of racism? Why do you think having multiple entry points to the work is necessary? So, yeah, I just thought it was a good flow. And I'm hoping that the teachers that are there find it useful.
You're so smart. I just
No, but it's so funny. Like, I like that I get to do, like, I've been BNC and I do like our magic and fantasy and really fun things. But then on occasion, people will be like, "Oh, you are like a professional that like does stuff or like seek my advice or something." And so even like listening to AJ, I just remember when AJ was applying like for this program, and I think like reading over something for it, and just like it's just cool that I think when we do community with folks for a really long time, we get to see them in a ton of different ways and spaces and like doing different things. Because I like hadn't checked in with them in a very long time, but it's cool to see what they're working on and share some of what I'm working on.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Oreo King says, I basically just created my character for the fantasy prompt. I used another prompt from Roll and Play to help with that. Her name is great. Let's anyone want to take a stab at that? No. Great name. It's a great name. I am not going to butcher it. I would rather it just is going to live. Just imagine a great name. And she is a Tabaxi bard who is 25 years old. She was taught how to play flute by a pixie and has been invited to play center stage for a Fae clan. Nucleus is fine. Okay. If she can get there. That is so okay. Hold on.
I love this.
Former band kid here. I would like to advocate for more musical fantasy stories, specifically musical instrument fantasy stories. Like, let's go. Ocarina of Time has been carrying the load for too long. It's been since the 90s. I need a main, like a big musical fantasy, like musical instrument based fantasy. Musical instruments can be magical. Okay. That was a tangent, but I love it. That is all to say. I love it.
Oh, that's
an excitement building. That like wait, I'm excited about this. No, wait, I'm excited about this.
Oh, that's so cool. People are so creative. I love it. This is why it's one of my favorite events that we do here at Black Magical History Month.
Okay, speaking of, we got one more 25-minute sprint before we are all done for the night. So yeah, I'm gonna start the timer and let's go.
Let's go.
most brilliant smile?
That was it.
That was real quick.
It was very quick. How did it go for y'all?
Great. I have moved on to email templates for my podcast because my podcast is going to have guests and you got to reach out to guests. It's like a rough template because mostly I just want to be organic. Trust us as people who get a lot of emails asking for us to be on things and share things. It's really helpful to just be a person. I would recommend being a person. You can tell when it's not a person or somebody who has copy and pasted the same message probably a dozen times or more. I mean, sometimes that's necessary, but my goal is always to have the bones of the framework, but the rest of it I just fill in at the time with what makes sense because I've actually researched this guest and their content and read their stuff or watched their stuff. So that's what I was trying to strike the balance. I was like, okay, this is the perfect frame.
Yeah. AJ said they spent most of that session rewriting the same sentence. And like,
I know Bionic can relate.
Hate that for all of us. I hope you got it in the end because that's like, that's the part. I still have 100 words that I need to cut. So I might just do it after because I really want to just like I just need to get under there. It's also really cold in this room, so I need to, do some things before I do that. But yeah.
Portia's exactly right. She said to AJ, at least writing was done. And that's really the key, isn't it? We're all here to just create a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, DJ? How'd it go?
Good. Yeah, I don't even know how to explain the random things I'm doing, but making progress. And I'm excited. So good.
Oh,
yes, for the children's stories.
Yeah. I love this. Everybody's making things.
I think that's super dope. I don't have the skill set to write children's stories. I think that's so cool. Or not necessarily the skill set, like the way my lane of imagination does not encompass children's stories, but I love children's stories. I love going to the bookstore. In fact, I'm so excited. My best friend is having a baby and has requested books instead of cards. And so I'm like trying to pick the perfect book. I'm so excited. I love going to the children's aisle and I'm like, oh, it's just the perfect book.
I'll send a list.
Yes, please send a list.
Hello.
Oro King said, my daughter inspired me.
Oh, I love that.
Oh no, AJ. The single sentence became 3 sentences, one of which is still a run-on. Oh no. It's sprouting more heads. What is that, a hydra? Oh no.
Hydra.
That is a hydra. Oh my gosh. Oh, the hungry caterpillar. That is a banger. It's a really good one. That's very good.
Yeah, we're supposed to get it and then like sign it with like a message so that like the baby will have it as they get older and like a keepsake. So my whole thesis is Hydra. Oh no. Or yay. It could go either way, really.
Either one, both.
You might own it, maybe not. Depends on the day, probably.
Right.
Well, thank y'all for joining. We'll still be out here celebrating Black magical history for the rest of the month. You can join us next Friday and Saturday for our movie night in Discord. We'll be watching Black Panther on Friday at 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern, and then Saturday we'll be watching Wakanda Forever at the same time. If you want to join us in our Discord, you can do that. You can sign up. You can go to our website at blacknerdscreate.com, and then you can follow there's a whole community tab, and you can go in and sign up and then join our Discord. It'll be fun. People got jokes. And it's always fun to like watch things in community, you know? If you don't want to join for whatever reason, you can also, we'll be live tweeting.
I don't know who will be live tweeting, but perhaps it'd be fun if I did. I have not seen Wakanda
You probably
Forever.
should, because you haven't seen it. You haven't seen
It'll be
Wakanda
fun.
Forever. That's probably a good idea. And then these are our social handles: BLK Nerds Create on Twitter, Black Nerds Create on Instagram, and Tumblr. If you're on Tumblr, we're also at Black Nerds Create there.
In fact, if you wrote something or created, it doesn't even have to be right. You take pictures of whatever you created in real life. We do have a fan creation call. We have submissions open on Tumblr. We want to see the stuff that y'all make, even if it's not something that's finished. Like if you have a Tumblr, like give us a little excerpt. We'd love to see it.
Yeah. And I think that's it. Thank you everyone for joining us. This was great. We haven't done this in a while, so I'm like excited.
I'm like, we got to do more.
I know.
So many people showed up. I love it.
Yeah. Thank y'all for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck with your creations. I know some of them seem difficult, but y'all make it. Y'all got it.
Yeah. Bye, y'all.
Bye.